The new American culture is easily found as our phones as it is found in the real life. Amazingly, we found a way to transfer all the joys of the real world onto a digital platform so we can share it to millions of people across the world. That's something not even our forefathers could have dreamed of. However, we took it one step too far. Now, most of you must have been wondering why I was looking at my phone rather than looking into the audience. It's not because I don't care about you. I care about all of you. But it's because I want to make a point. If you go down the streets of New York City, I can guarantee you that there will be at least 10 people texting as they walk down the street. One, it's dangerous. And two, take a look around you. New York is beautiful. We created technology in a way to help us. Technology is created so that we can chat and connect to millions of people around the world. There are so many social movements that have stemmed from technology, like the Me Too movement recently talked about in the TED Talks, and also the amount of change that is sparked from technology is so vast and great that we just can't live without it. However, it is something that we created. We have to know our own limitations with it, and it's important for us to realize that it can't substitute human interaction. So I want everyone to take into account a story. So imagine that Tim and Sarah are going to a party. Tim and Sarah have been together for about 4 months now, and Sarah feels pretty confident to be around Tim. However, at this party, Sarah notices something a little different. Tim has been hanging out around a different girl, Jessie. Who was this Jessie, and where did she come from? How come she's going to be with Tim rather than Sarah? The party moves on. Sarah doesn't say a word. She decides that she's going to take it out on him after the party. Now, what Sarah should have done is called him, FaceTimed him, asked him to get him her cup of coffee at Starbucks, talk it out over there. But she made the mistake of texting him. And as you can see, Sarah decided to text him 4 a little angry texts. And what Sarah waited for was maybe, a consolatory, she's just a friend. She had some money that I needed. But instead, Sarah got something else. K. Probably the most hated alphabet in the English language. It was not alright. It wasn't okay. It wasn't okay with just 2 letters. It was just the letter K. How dare he? How dare he send her the letter K? They have been together for so long. But what Sarah didn't realize was that Tim was playing Fortnite on his phone. He was trying to win the next battle, and he didn't care what Sarah had to say at that time. So, what I want you guys to take from this story isn't to get a boyfriend like Tim. It's to understand that when we go or have problems with certain people, that's important to have face-to-face communication. Had Sarah known that Tim was playing Fortnite on his phone while she was texting him, maybe things would have been different. Maybe she would have understood the real intentions. Now, I'm definitely not like Sarah. I do not have a Tim in my life. But I can assure you that since I'm human, we all go through emotions. For me, that was especially prominent during 9th grade, the year where a middle schooler had to transition into a high schooler. The pressure was immense. I could not take it. Sometimes it was even difficult for me to juggle biology with my ELA, with my Spanish. And the best way for me to get out all these stresses was to talk it out with my friends. What I decided to do instead of texting was to go for them face-to-face. A face-to-face conversation to make me feel like we were there, we existed together, and that they took time out of their day to spend with me. And that's beautiful. It's something that we should treasure. So, when going through emotions like this, it's important for us to realize Don't text. Please don't text. Talk to people face to face. Now, in addition to social interaction, I also want to highlight the other things that we're missing because of our phones. Nature. If you take a look outside, I can assure you that in kindergarten we're taught that the sky is blue. The sky isn't just blue. The sky is every color you can imagine, from red to orange to yellow to green to blue to indigo and to violet. It can be the entire rainbow if you wanted it to be. I realized the beauty of the sky the most when I took a trip to California recently. On the way there, we stopped by the Grand Canyon, which was in Arizona. After a long day of sightseeing, we were driving back and it was pitch black outside. The thing about Arizona is there's no cell phone reception. So instead of talking to my friends or texting on my phone, hitting up Snapchat like what I planned to do, I was forced to put down my phone and stare out the window. Now what I expected was a boring ride. Just nothing, maybe a few cacti, the occasional dead squirrel on the ground. But what I saw instead was a beautiful sky. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. The sky blanketed the earth and it was dotted with stars. I've never seen so many stars in my life. Coming from New Jersey, it's easy to see that light pollution has blocked out most of our stars. We don't see them. Maybe the occasional star over here or bright patch over there. But in Arizona, the entire sky is dotted with stars. I could not take my eyes off of it. It was beautiful. And what I realized that day was, if this is what's outside that car window, when I could have been texting, I could have been seeing that as well. What else are we missing? Not just the sky, but the trees, the forests, the rivers. They're all there for a reason, and it's important for us to put down our phones and take a look at them. Admire their beauty. Now, my last point that I want to give to you is that technology isn't a bad thing. Even though I make it seem like it is, it really isn't. It's up to our responsibility to decide how much of it we should use in order to complete what we want to complete. For example, take into account all the pictures that you have seen. Perhaps you've seen a beautiful sky picture on Google, or maybe some forests or trees, but do you really see them getting cleaned down? Do you really see what else is going on behind that phone screen? We don't, because the internet tends to leave that part out. If we put down our phones and look into the real world, maybe we can solve more problems than what we could originally have. So I urge you today to disconnect from your phones and reconnect to reality and cause a new change. Thank you.